Oh, great. I got a new pop-up this morning that asked if it was okay that if I wanted to be in while it was recording. All right, well, it is now 8 o'clock, so we will go ahead and get started. I'm so happy everybody is here today. My name is Tracy Irby, and I am the director at TWU, Center for Women Entrepreneurs. We have several of our team members on today. Donna Lisa Stinyard is our program director, and she will be answering any questions. So if you have questions during the program, you can message those to her. We have Justina Shaw on. She is our fabulous small business advisor. And over on Facebook, we should have Samantha, who will be answering questions if any of you are viewing from there. So again, welcome. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, we were funded in 2015 by the state legislature just to help promote women entrepreneurs anywhere in the state of Texas. And we do that through small business advising, funding, networking and training events like this, and also research into women's issues in the workplace, women entrepreneurs, etc. We are part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership, and the other centers are the Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy and the Center for Student Leadership. So again, we're so happy all of you are here today. We have a great program for you today, and I think one that's so beneficial to every woman-owned business. Today we have Taylor Crosby from the Women's Business Council Southwest. Taylor Crosby is the Director of Marketing for the Women's Business Council Southwest. It is a nonprofit dedicated to increasing the value of women-owned businesses by certification, education, advocacy, and mutually beneficial opportunities for our members and affiliates. With an extensive 15-year career in marketing for startup and ed tech companies, she helps to drive the internal and external communications for the council. So Taylor, we are so happy you're here. And again, anyone, if there's questions as we go along, just send those to Donna Lisa. And Taylor, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tracy. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here and pull this up. Find it here. Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, so a little bit, I'm going to go over who we are and what we do. As Tracy mentioned, my name is Taylor Crosby. I put my email and our website in the chat, so feel free to reach out to me at any time. We are headquartered over in Irving, Texas, and there are hours and our website as well. We're still all working remotely from home, but we do have a headquarters there. So to kind of just start off, I think it's really beneficial to go over some of the acronyms that we use because there are a lot when you get into different types of business certifications. So just kind of want everyone to be on the same page here. So some may have heard of our Minority Business Enterprise, which is called MBE, or WBE, Women's Business Enterprise, and sometimes this is even shortened to MWBE, which I've gotten some confusion on lately that people thought they were combined, but people in our industry just kind of shorten it to MWBE. There's also DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. There is HUB, Historically Underutilized Business, for the state of Texas, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. Also WOSB, Women-Owned Small Business. SBE, OSB is government. SBE is for Small Business Enterprise. And then kind of here in the North Texas area, The three main certifying agencies that you'll find are the DFW MSDC, Dallas Fort Worth Minority Supplier Development Council, NCTRCA, North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, and then us, WBCS, the Women's Business Council Southwest. And just at a very high level, we did a whole webinar earlier this year with NCTRCA and DFW MSDC, and I can send you the link if you want to email me, and you can kind of see the difference between all of us. But WBCS and the MSDC, we're very similar in that our certification was developed really for use with corporations, which I'll get into more later. But we also work with government entities. And then NCTRCA was really established by local North Texas government agencies. So when you look at different certifications, it kind of depends on your target market for your business. That's a good kind of way to think about it. So as Tracy mentioned, we're a nonprofit and we exist to help increase the value of women-owned businesses and positively impact the community through inclusive and prosperous partnerships for all. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary last year. So we were founded in 1995, and our Southwest region here covers North and Central Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and New Mexico. We do have a satellite office in Austin, and that's kind of our other big metro area in our region. And in this region, we have a little over 80 corporate members and about 1,200 women-owned businesses. So, and the way that it works is we are part of a larger national organization, and that acronym is WBENC. It stands for Women's Business Enterprise National Council. So they're based out of DC, and they set the standards nationwide for what it means to be a women-owned business. And then we are one of the 14 regional partners who have kind of divided up the country, and we administer that certification in our region. So no matter where your business is headquartered in the United States, it's going to be this set of standards for you to get certified by one of our regional partners. And likewise, even if you're headquartered in Texas, your WBENC WBE certification is national. You could use it to do business anywhere in the United States. So when you apply for WBE certification with us, we can actually do 4 certifications for you total, all for the same price and all with basically the same documentation. You have to do a few extra things for the WOSB, but so first you apply for the WBE certification, the Women's Business Enterprise. And then if you are headquartered in the state of Texas, we will automatically screen you for the hub certification. So that certification, as I mentioned before, that's if you are looking to do business with the state of Texas, they are going to require that certification. And then you can also opt in for the WOSB, Women-Owned Small Business. So that's if you want to do business with the federal government. This is one that's kind of done by the SBA, but we're also a partner for it. So it's a little bit easier if you're already doing WBE with us that we can do that same one. And then the last one is SBE, Small Business Enterprise. And we do that one right now specifically for Dallas County. So if you're wanting to do business with Dallas County. So just a little about our members, because some of the questions that I get often are, do I need to have a certain level of revenue? Do I need to be in a certain industry to get certified? And the answer is no. Any company is eligible to get certified. We'll go into some of the criteria a little bit later. It's really that you have to be 51% owned, operated, and controlled by a woman or women. But besides that, there's no revenue requirement. You don't have to be in a certain industry. We have everywhere, from startups with 0 revenue to $50 million businesses get certified. And here you'll see too, we have almost any industry that you can think of. Some of our most represented industries are advertising and marketing, construction, architecture and engineering, consulting, IT, manufacturing. And then a vast majority of our WBEs have been in business for 10 or more years. And then the number I really like to point out is that in total, all of our WBEs just in this region have over 50,000 employees, which is a huge economic impact. And then a little bit about our corporate members. So every year we ask all of our members to kind of report how much money they spent with women-owned businesses. So last year we had over 8.5 billion, and this is just what is reported. So that's not even completely exhaustive because not everyone reports it to us, but that's just what was spent with businesses just in our region here. And so we have a lot of the big Fortune 500 companies that are especially headquartered in the Dallas-Fort Worth area represented here. You will see their supplier diversity professionals at our events. They serve on our board. So it's really a great way, even if you are maybe more of a startup business and looking to get into the supply chain. There's opportunities here as well to be on like tier 2. A lot of these larger corporations have tier 2 spending programs. So you could be, a supplier to some of their main prime suppliers and things like that. So a little bit more about our certification criteria. So as I mentioned, the company has to be owned, operated, and controlled by a woman or women, at least 51%. The female ownership's control has to be clearly evidenced in the governing documents. The female owner's experience and expertise has to be integral to the company's viability. She has to hold the highest officer position, actively involved in daily operation and management. And then she can be either a US citizen or permanent legal resident. And that is very, very high level, but if you want to go more into it, there is a lot of information about this on our website, and I can also send that to you. So a little bit about the process. So our application is an all digital process. So you go to this website, WBENClink.org, and you can create a username and password, and you have 90 when you start that to complete your application. So you can go take a look at the application, get an idea of the questions, and then answer a few of them and return to them later if you have more time. You can also, it's just an easy process to scan your documents. You upload them all right there. And then once your application is submitted, then it's reviewed by our certification review committee. And then we do site visits on 100% of our applications. And that is all virtual as well right now over Zoom. And what that just kind of gives us an opportunity to meet you and ask you a few questions about the business. And you don't have to have an official office for the site visit. We, even before the pandemic, did site visits in people's home offices and things like that. So, and then we average about less than 50 days from when you submit your application to when you will get certified. I think I have so the processing fee for certification starts at $350 per year if you are less than $1 million in revenue. I think I have, all of the certification fees. So it just kind of goes up from there, just based on your company's annual revenue. So that's a little bit about the certification part, but really we provide a lot more just than the certification. We have events throughout the year, and I'll talk a little bit more about those in detail as well. And also and networking opportunities. We are really, really big on networking because we believe that people do business with people that they know. So we want to try and provide those opportunities at almost every event that we have. We do a lot of the Zoom breakout rooms right now for our virtual events. So here's ways to kind of get the most out of your certification. So once you're a member, once you're certified, we call you a member, and you get access to our member database. And so you can look through that list, searchable if you need to connect with other women-owned businesses. Maybe you're even looking for business cards to get printed. And so you can search for a women-owned business to do that for you for your business. But we also list all of our corporate members there as well. There are opportunities to volunteer, not as many right now because we're virtual for our events, but we do have a lot of volunteer opportunities as well. And that's a great way just to kind of get to know people. We do have even more events now that we're virtual than we did in person, almost every other week. So attending events is a great, great way to just learn more about us and our membership. Even if you're not certified yet, almost every event is open to the public. And I'll talk a little bit more in details about those, I think, on the next slide here. We also have, we have something called the Lily Knox Investment Award. The applications are actually opening for that. And so the completely member fund cash award for your business to be used in a way to grow your business of up to $20,000 you can apply for. Last year, we gave out 3 of these cash awards to totaling about $33,000, I believe. So, and I think we're going to be able to give out even more this upcoming year. So that's a really great, that's open to any members to apply for. We also have a lot of different educational opportunities. We just launched last month our new Capital One mentor program that's in partnership with Capital One. And so we're really excited to do that. There are also different opportunities like that, even at the national level. So once you're a member of ours here, you also get access to these big national opportunities with WBENC. And they have some different educational programs as well. Like there's one called the Energy Executive Program put on by the big 3 gas companies. And they do a lot of leadership that way, leadership training. There's several that they have. And we also do one, a Toyota mentorship program as well. And it's not even if you're interested in doing business with Toyota, you could be in a lot of different industries. They just kind of match you up based on your business industry. You can also use the WBENC women-owned logo, which I'll get into. I think I have that on the next slide. But there's a women-owned logo that is used for product-facing or consumer products. And I'll show this on the next slide, and you can kind of start to see it out when you're out shopping and things like that. There are opportunities to receive recognition and awards at some of our events. You can also put your certification on all of your marketing materials. It's a great way to kind of market that and get that word out there. And then the very important thing is once you do have that certification, a lot of our corporate members have their own supplier diversity portals, and you go in there, you make an account, and you can upload all your certifications there. Yeah, so the women-owned logo. So this is it up here at the top. So this was a little while ago to get that recognition. I think it was originally developed in partnership with Walmart. They wanted to create a whole section of their store with just women-owned products. And so we helped them develop this logo that can go on consumer-facing products. And it's now used by a lot of different companies throughout the United States. And so you'll start to see it. I know, so Van's Kitchen is one of our members here, and they have it, as you can see on their packaging down there at the bottom. And there's like another tamale company, Padrino Tamales here, and they put it on their packaging as well. So you'll kind of start to see it. I mean, even if you're out, like at Walmart or Target or Whole Foods, there you'll kind of see it around. So it's pretty cool. But that's just kind of, in the hopes that if a consumer is making a decision between 2 different types of egg rolls, for example, they'll maybe see a woman-owned logo and say, hey, I want to support a woman-owned company. And then this other example here is just kind of a way, this is one of our members, Laguna Media Group, how she put the logo here on her website. You get, for non-consumer facing businesses, we have this certified WBENC logo. So she put that on her website as kind of part of her About Us section, which is really just a good way to market and help sell your business more. So more about our events and programming. We have our 3 main events. Is our Parade of Stars Awards Gala, which is an evening event. We weren't able to have that this year due to being virtual, but we're going to have it back in 2022. But that's just a really nice awards event. And then our second major event is called Connections to Contracts that we have every April. And that's an opportunity for our corporate members to hold roundtables where women-owned businesses can come and meet them and interact directly with the corporate representatives to learn about how to do business with them and what upcoming opportunities there are. And then our last one is Harvesting Partnerships, and that's held every September. And we actually get our women-owned businesses to host roundtables at that event. So there's an opportunity there for, if they're a subject matter expert in social media or HR best practices, they'll host a table and then just can kind of share their knowledge, but is also a great way for them to promote their business. Our table topics is actually a monthly kind of lunch and learn event. We're actually having 2 a month right now while we're virtual. But in a normal year, we'd have 1 a month. And so we bring in a speaker, and when we're in person, we bring in lunch as well. But we'll bring in a speaker on a variety of topics, all relevant to business owners, anything from, marketing to sales to HR, or I think there's actually one later today on market research. So that'll be really neat. We normally tap on our women-owned businesses as well to speak at those events. We have one coming up, Austin Insights, that will be in July. That's one of our Austin signature events. And we're going to have Ingrid Vandervelt, who is the founder in Austin of the Empowering a Billion Women organization. So she's going to be speaking at that event, and that'll be really neat. And it'll be virtual this year. So if you're not in Austin, then you can still attend. We also have our Next Gen initiative. This is to targeted programming, specifically kind of reaching out to the 45 and under group of women entrepreneurs. And then we have our Women-Owned Wednesdays. Those were created for the Austin market, where we'll bring in a speaker on a variety of topics. And those are normally the last Wednesday of every month. And then we also have our Women of Color initiative, where we have business mixers and also a mentor program with that. And it's all designed to just increase the outreach to our women of color business owners. And so we're wrapping up our mentor program for that right now. We do 2 mentor programs a year. And the goal of that mentor program is to help you through the certification process. And so we'll start another one of those in September is what we're looking at for that. But I'm working with the committee right now to plan more of our business mixers, probably in August for that. And then we also do different regional and industry specific happy hours. I think in next week, we have one for the marketing and advertising industry. And then we've also done one obviously for construction. And then we've done one for our regional members as well in, Oklahoma, Arkansas, New Mexico area. All right, so there is my email. I also put our Director of Certification, Anita Steele, on here. She's a great contact if you have any other, any really specific certification questions, but you can also reach out to me and I can connect. And then we would love for you to join us on social media. We post a lot on there, especially like on LinkedIn, and join the conversation there. So I think I went through that a little bit fast, but I would love to answer any questions that anyone has, because I know that certification is kind of like a whole world of its own.
Well, I'll just jump in real quick though. Can you just tell them really the benefits of it and what opportunities are out there? There's so much that I don't think people realize that they're missing out on a lot of opportunities for business.
Yeah. So let me kind of back up here. So I mentioned supplier diversity. And I'll admit, like, before I started here, I've been here for 5 years, but I had no idea that supplier diversity existed in companies. But most large corporations have supplier diversity departments, because they want to ensure that their supply base is diverse, because that's just a really good business practice for them. It better represents their customers as a whole. So corporations will set specific goals, to have maybe 15 or 20% of their suppliers be either minority-owned, women-owned businesses, and in some cases they even do LGBT-owned businesses. There is a certification for that as well. So they set these goals, and so so anytime that they're, putting out bids, opportunities out there, they want to ensure that they are getting either minority or women-owned businesses involved in these. So, there are specific job roles at these companies that are looking to have suppliers as women-owned businesses. So, so we're really just kind of the connector between that, between women-owned businesses and corporations looking. So that's really what we do. And then on the other side, the government side, whether it is, local, state, federal government, they actually have, it's required in their contracts. So anytime that there's like government money involved, it's just required. So they'll have a certain percentage. It just, I think, depends on what it is, but the percentage of spend that has to go to either a minority or women-owned company, in some cases veteran as well. So that's kind of, there's, a case, it does depend on target market is, but we saw this a lot last year through the pandemic as well. So, when the pandemic started, corporations kind of paused their spending, but there was still a lot of government spending out there. So there's a good case to get as many certifications as you can to help kind of diversify your business. If especially because those government contracts will require spend with women or minority-owned businesses.
So Taylor, can you go back a slide? They have a lot of people that are asking for the email addresses. There you go.
There you go.
And then we had a question. So I think sometimes people don't realize that maybe their business could do business with a government contract. So can you kind of go over like what types of businesses can do government contracting?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, we see a lot of construction industry contracts. There's, of course, especially in Texas, a lot of construction work going on. But when you think about it, they also have to have, janitorial services, building maintenance services, even stationery. So or like business cards, office stationery, office supplies. Even we'll see bids for catering services. They'll have office meetings and they need catering services. So it's almost anything when you think about like how an office runs or building runs, it's very wide ranging.
So you could even look at, like, we've got coaches and consultants and those kinds of things. So even those areas for training purposes, professional development purposes, would those be applicable as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have yeah, there are a lot of women-owned businesses in that field, I know. But yeah, there are certainly opportunities for that as well.
Somebody asked, can you apply for certification at any time and still get help with the process?
Yes, yes, the staff is here to help you. Um, you can just, yeah, reach out to us if you have any questions during the process. Um, if you are wanting a little bit, more hand holding, I can help facilitate, like hooking you up with a member who can kind of help you through it as well.
And then we had another question. Do you help women, help connect women to opportunities?
Yeah, so what we do is, so we have, once you're a member, you get access to our member center of our website, and we have a bid section there where we post bids and different opportunities. So you get to see those right there. And then, the other ways that we connect you to opportunities is providing, like at our events, like connections to contracts. That is, your opportunity to go. We had, I want to say, probably about 35 corporations this year hold those roundtables virtually. And so that's a really good opportunity to, go and meet those corporate representatives and get the chance to talk to them. But even, just outside of our connections to contracts event, a lot of these corporate representatives are at most of our events as well. But also, if there is someone specific that you're wanting an introduction to, the staff is also happy to help and make that and facilitate that introduction. We know all of these corporate representatives as well.
That's
Yeah,
great.
so I'm sorry, Tracy, we had a couple more questions.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in on that though. I have been to connections to contracts, and I'm telling any woman here who is interested in contracting, that is such an awesome event. When are you ever face to face with the person who can give you a contract? When they see you and know your business, I was really impressed on how that worked. And it was just, such a wonderful opportunity for anybody who's wanting to do contracting. Again, what better way than to be face to face with the person who can give you a contract?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Tracy. Yeah. It's, and again, it's really the supplier diversity professionals that are there. This is their job. They're looking for women-owned businesses. So I feel like, that's really important just to stress that they're there to connect with you.
Right. And can't you attend that as well, even if you aren't a member? Right. So,
yeah. Yeah. And we are actually, I'll mention too, so we, our main Connections to Contracts is every April, but we're holding our Connections to Contracts Austin, which will be virtual this year. So you can attend from anywhere, and that will be in the fall, either September, October time this year. But we'll have to wait for that soon.
Okay, good. I just wanted them to know what an awesome opportunity it was, whether you are a member or not, but that I was so impressed with that one.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah.
Somebody wanted to know about the volunteer opportunities. What are those like?
Yeah, so for volunteer, we have a lot of different committees. So there are two committees that I help staff are our Women Outreach Committee and the Marketing Committee. So a little bit about those. So like our Marketing Committee, I have I think there's about 7 members or so. And so we meet every other month and just talk about issues that we have coming up in the marketing department, and they help brainstorm ideas for different things. And then our Women of Color Outreach Committee helps to put together our outreach events, our business mixers, as well as they serve as mentors for our mentor program. So those are 2 of the opportunities. We do have we have in the past had some more event focused committees. Some of those, and even, helping in person to check people in our events and greeting people and things like that. That will come back when person and things like that.
Great. And then we had another question. Somebody wanted to know, do you have to be established to get started with getting certified?
So you do have to have the business formed and kind of those documents that say that the business exists, whether that's an LLC or sole proprietorship or anything else like that. So you do have to be established in that sense, but you don't have to have been in business for a certain amount of time or have a certain amount of revenue coming in. So I think that, I hope that answers that.
Yeah. So do we have any more questions? Okay, so what are the qualifications to become a volunteer with the Women of Color Committee?
Yeah, so that's all, it's all staffed by our members. So you do have to be either, a corporate member to volunteer with us or a WBE member.
That's easy enough.
Oh yeah. But if not a member yet, you're welcome to email me and I can put you on the list to come and attend one of our business mixers in the future.
Awesome. Do we have any more questions for Taylor this morning? Going once, going twice, gone. Well, thanks a lot, Taylor. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Tracy?
That was great information as always. Thank you so much, Taylor. We were glad to have you here this morning. I'd like to let everyone know about some of the events that we have coming up. Next month for our WomenRISE, we are going to have Leslie Hassler will be our speaker, and she's going to talk about 9 proven strategies to profitably and powerfully scale your business. Learn the difference between growth and scalability. We do have our evening workshop coming up on June 24th. About intellectual property basics. And this is great for anybody who's wanted to know about patents or trademarks. We have them coming from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So we're really excited about that. So if that's anything you guys are interested, you can register now, right, Donalisa?
Yep, it's open, and our July WomenRISE is open. And we've got a lot of great programming coming for the rest of the year.
So thank you all very much. We were so glad that you were here today and hope you learned something great about government contracting. We are finished a little early, but there is time for us to do our networking again. So thank you all, and we hope to see you again soon.
Here's a quick poll if you have time to take it.